This is Wholesaling Houses Elite, the no fluff and BS podcast with tips and tricks to help you become an elite wholesaler. Our guest will spill the beans on what it takes to be the best.
This podcast is brought to you by Lead Gen Pros, making it incredibly easy for the average real estate investor and business owner to get more leads. They work with a variety of companies who specialize in real estate investing and who are looking for a systemized way to increase their lead flow and grow their business. If that sounds like you, check out theleadgenpros.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Maxwell. Now, what you're about to listen to is my first ever pop-up/meetup. Now, in my hometown, I do free meetups once a month. At least I used to, and I hope to start those back up again soon. So what you're going to listen to is my absolute first meetup with only 11 people in the room. So take a listen. Tell me what you learned. Tell me things you liked in the comments. And please, I beg you, if you're listening to this on iTunes, please give me a 5-star rating and a good comment, and I'll keep providing content every single week. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the other side.
You gotta be a people person for this business. If not, there's different positions for you, right? I got a position open right now for a transaction coordinator. All you're gonna do is make sure that everything goes right after the contract to close it, right? That's probably more suited for you. But this business, you're a people problem solver, and you have to build rapport with people. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're friends. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've all sold stuff to strangers and you sold stuff to friends. And you'll tell your friend, hey, look, you buy it now, I'll give it to you at this price. But if you list it on Craigslist, it's probably $20, $30 higher, $100 higher. And that's because that's your friend and that's a stranger. So getting to know somebody over the point of time, and usually an appointment for me lasts about an hour long. In an hour long, I can usually build good rapport with somebody, right? If I'm in that house for an hour, I got the contract. Start grabbing the money because we're making money now. But usually right away, if you go in there and you can't build a rapport with people, it's usually because there's 3 different types of personalities. I can go into them, but you really got to learn how to deal with individual people. And if you do that, I'm telling you, this business is going to become a lot easier for you. And the more you do this, the easier it's going to get, right? So we go on appointments sometimes that we know we have no chance of getting the house. And why? It's because practice, right? If we know we're going to this house and the house is worth $150 and they want $175, guess what? If it's not a busy day, we're going to go on the appointment. Because it takes practice to break that person's down, right? I talked about last month how there was a house that worth $120. I think she wanted $100. I was like, you know what? This is an iffy. I got the house for $53. Was it 53? $53,000.
That took an hour.
48 minutes.
Wow.
To the dot. Right? So I usually record my conversations on the phone because I want to go back and critique myself, right? I want to see where I messed up at. What did I say that I should have said that I shouldn't have said, all that type of stuff. So that's important, right? You know, so rapport is very, very, very important. And you can't fake it. You generally have to there's tactics that you have to do to build rapport with a person. And we're going to talk about some of the things that we do on appointments. One of the big things is we mimic tonality. You guys know what tonality is? Yeah. Right? When you're on the phone, hey, this is Max calling from Cash Homes Tribe in Winston Salem. Like your voice fluctuates, and that's tonality. So if a person's speaking to you in a monotone voice and they're telling you what the mortgage is, you're going to actually go back and speak the same way. Well, how much is your balance? Like you don't want to be, hey, oh well, how much is your balance? And they're talking in a monotone, very relaxed way. You want to mimic their tonality, right? And we're talking about stuff for the phone. But when you're actually in the house, you want to mimic a person's behavior as well too, right? So if you're at a house and you're talking to a seller and they talk with their hands, guess what you got to be doing? You got to be talking with your hands. It's funny, if you're on the couch where we like to do a lot of our deals and the person sits and they cross their legs, I can't cross my legs, I'm not flexible. I try to cross my legs too. And it's funny that people like to deal with people that are like them. They mirror them. And mirroring them is a very, 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 very powerful way to do it. Go into this assuming you already have the rapport. Don't have the mindset that you have to build it. Assume that the rapport is there, right? This is just basic sales stuff, but you need to do it. It's not that we're salespeople, but you need to understand how the human mind works when you walk into this stuff. I bet you guys didn't think you were going to come here and get talk about this type of stuff when it comes to real estate. You thought it was all going to be numbers here, where to find the best leads and all that stuff. All that's easy. I can put it all on one sheet, how to find motivated sellers. It's what you do when you get them on the phone or when you walk into the house. That's the difference between you getting the deal and I'm getting the deal. Because if you get a call from a bandit sign or you get a call from a Google AdWords, believe you're not the only person they called. I'm coming at 3, you're coming at 4, somebody's already there at 12. I might not be the highest offer, but I guarantee you I'm leaving with a pie in my hand and some cookies and that offer sheet, right? It's that tonality, right? I hope you guys learn something from this. If you guys have any questions about what we talked about rapport, you can ask them now. If not, we can move on to, I doubt he has anything prepared. So if you have any questions about, the closing, double closings, assignments, that type of stuff, he's here. And then we'll go into Q&A. So we just start talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. We got a whole hour to do that. So that's golden. So welcome, Mr. Attorney Eric Ellison.
How do one settlement statement or your closing disclosure? These are federally regulated documents, okay? And from my point of view, and my brother, my other attorney's point of view, we have to follow that document to a T. It's not like, oh, okay, well, this is a suggested distribution. My trust account, and my trust account is regulated by the North Carolina Bar, has to match to the penny that HUD-1 settlement statement or that closing disclosure. And so if I have my good friend Anna, and I haven't seen Anna in like 10 years. I saw her downstairs and I need to recognize, but I used to hang out with her. She's a great woman. But nonetheless, if she gets it for 60, what's your name again, sir?
Jim.
And, Jim is the buyer, or she's the seller, he's the buyer, but what's your name?
Stephanie.
So he's gonna go flip it over to Stephanie for 90. Jim, as far as I'm concerned, Jim, on that transaction with Jim's name on it, Anna's name on it, I gotta show X amount coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I have distributed according to this instruction list, this other one, this closing disclosure. All right? Now, in my opinion, if you want to sell it for Stephanie at a higher price, that's fine. We can do the HUD-1, we can do the closing same day. We can do it the same day. But for their transaction, my trust account will match that statement. All right? Now, he can turn around, sell it to Stephanie. Stephanie has to bring X amount in. We'll distribute with him listed on the closing disclosure or the HUD-1 settlement statement. And so, I don't like the straw guy. I don't like him being crafty and say, well, I'm just gonna use Stephanie's money. You give it to Anna, and I'm gonna walk out of here. You have all the liability, you have all the risk, and I'm walking out here with $15,000. And I'm not down with that. Yeah. So that's it.
This is a HUD-1 form.
The HUD-1s, they have to match. If we have X going in, Y going out, my trust account's gonna match that. And if you have an attorney, there's one attorney in there who's a little bit slippery with the rules, all right? And that's fine. I disagree with them, and that's fine. But if you find an attorney, he's got to follow these rules.
Yeah.
These are federally regulated documents, and I will tell you one story. I can be long-winded, but when I was very, very young in my career, I'm sitting there, and the FBI came into my office. All right, they said, "Hey, we want to look at the file of X." Well, shucks. I've been practicing like about 3 or 4 years, and it was, matter of fact, it was this lender for the FDA, not FBI, what's the farming people call it? USDA, excuse me, USDA. And, he was doing some crooked stuff. I had been involved, I'd done one of his transactions. And then he came and asked me, well, we understand that these people got this money. Why did you distribute that money? And I just said, well, pull it out my file. I got this, I don't even know if we had email back in 2004 or what, but I got this fax, I got this email from the lender. He instructed me to do that. Follows my trust, my trust account. What else you got for me? Thank you, Attorney Ellison. Have a good day. But ever since then, I follow it to a T.
Don't want that call. Get that call and you ain't got your stuff in
order.
order.
I practice law as if the FBI is coming in to look at that file. That's how I practice it. And so that's just my perspective. It's not to, scare you or do whatever to you.
And it's just simple. And I'll kind of go over this HUD one. If I mess up, correct me.
Can I make one last statement?
Please.
I'm going to go have a seat.
Yeah.
However, there is a legal way for you guys to make money, to do transactions, and, an assignment. It's a perfectly legal contract. All right? You don't need to be ashamed of it. You don't need to hide it. It's enforceable. Will be supported in a court of law. I'll do it any day of the week. Any day of the week. All right? And that alleviates, what's your name once again? Jim having to fork out X amount of dollars so he can turn around and sell the property to Stephanie a couple minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
If he did it by an assignment, that's fine. That's fine. And in addition to that, I do suggest to you, as Max has suggested, I'm not going to help you conceal, your lack of candor, your lack of being open. I'm not going to assist you in that. All right? It's not my job. So if your buyer comes in, what's on the documents, what they're available to see, what they're entitled to see, they will see, and I won't lie. I'm not gonna lie for you. I'm not gonna lie for anybody else because I like that piece of paper on my wall. Now, if they ask to see something that they are not entitled to see, I'm not gonna let them see that either because it's none of their damn business. And I have, I have a confidential client-attorney relationship where I have certain obligations where I have to, I'm not able to disclose that information without my client's permission. And so just do your job. Don't hide it. Don't conceal it. Don't ask other people to conceal what you're doing. Be open. Follow the law and you're fine. And you have no shame in making money. There's none.
Zero.
None to it. And the fact of the matter is, if Anna gets mad because he just sold the property to Stephanie for X amount of dollars, you got an enforceable contract. So she could be upset.
Lock it up.
I'm going to say she has nothing to be upset about, but nonetheless, hey, he honored his deal to Anna, right? If he's going to go sell it to Stephanie, it's really none of Anna's business. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, if she's squawking, she has an enforceable contract. He has an enforceable contract. There you go.
Thank you for listening to the Wholesaling Houses Elite podcast with Maxwell. Make sure to tune in next week to see what elite wholesaler will have in the hot seat.